What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon coverage video, and today I am going to be looking or thinking about the leak that came out, it's like a while ago now, but which has sort of gained a bit more traction now that we have an Alolan Rattata revealed, because, you know, it's another piece of the puzzle basically that they mentioned. So the leak I'm talking about, it was on 4chan I believe, but if we go through first what's been confirmed from that leak, what's sort of like, you know, pretty good from the leak, and then the other stuff the leak mentions. First up, obviously, they predicted Young Goose's evolution as fat and hairy. Not a huge candidate for not strong evidence for it being real, but they did predict it. But they also did predict new forms for old Pokemon, similar to Shellos or Wormadam, which is pretty much what Alolan forms are, regional based variants. And they mentioned of these new Pokemon a few here, we'll look at some more, but the two that have been sort of properly confirmed are obviously Ninetales and Rattata. Now we have Rattata, a bit more traction there. Ninetales, they got the type slightly wrong, they said it was Fire Fairy rather than Ice Fairy, and Rattata did say it was just a Dark type Rattata rather than a Dark Normal. Doesn't mean it's wrong, of course, because if you were going to quickly mention the Alolan Rattata, what would you say? You're going to say, oh, it's a Dark Normal type, or say it's a Dark type Rattata, because, you know, normal Rattata is normal, and then the Alolan Rattata is a Dark type Rattata. You know, they didn't say specifically it was a pure Dark type, I don't think, but you know, it's sort of a bit more, it's half and half almost, same with the Ninetales. But the other stuff they did predict, or you know, has actually been revealed as true, is that the bank transfer is the only way to get old forms. I'm pretty sure this has been confirmed pretty much, that any Pokemon you catch or breed in Generation 7 will be in the Alolan form. So, you know, you won't be able to catch a Fire-type Vulpix or breed a Fire-type Vulpix in Generation 7. You'll have to transfer them up from Generation 6. And I'm pretty sure if you transfer a Vulpix, you know, a Fire-type Vulpix from Generation 6, it will evolve into a Fire-type Ninetales. You know, that's how it's going to work. I'm not sure breeding will work like that. It's not like if you breed from a Fire-type Vulpix, you're going to get a Fire-type Vulpix in return. It's possible it could, you know, like Generation 6 Pokemon can breed Generation 6 Pokemon, or Generation 6 forms, I suppose we could say, and you know, you have to catch and then breed the Generation 7 ones. That's possible, but for most of them, you know, you have to transfer a Pokemon over first to be able to get a Fire-type Vulpix, basically. The other thing they predicted, or sort of, you know, said, I suppose, is the flying type bird whose appearance varies by island. That's Oricorio, of course. And they also mentioned that the stone bracelet has nothing to do with a synchro evolution, which is pretty much true now, we know it, to do with Z moves, so that was right. And the other thing they sort of semi got right is there's no gyms. I'm pretty confident saying there's no gyms now, because we have the island trials, and then we also have a screenshot of the save screen now, and there is no mention of gyms anywhere on there, so I think it's confident, it's a pretty confident statement, says no gyms in Pokemon Sun and Moon. But, you know, it's not confirmed that there are no gyms, it's just implied because of the island trials. So what other stuff does this leak mention that we could possibly be seeing in the future and be watching out for in future information? Well, first up, more than one evolution for Rockruff, one being a werewolf or including a werewolf, so possibly both of them, or one being one and the other being something else. We will know about this pretty soon, I would imagine. We were told in the next edition of Korokoro to release there will be information about Rockruff's evolution. This could be related to the information we're getting next week. It could be highlighting Rockruff's evolution as well. So once we know about that, it might say, you know, oh, Rockruff has 2 evolutions, amazing sort of thing. It might do that, or it might just say about the 1 evolution. That won't necessarily confirm it, but it could lead on that path. So that's what this says there. Apparently time works differently in each version, so whether that means there are longer days, longer nights, or there are areas that are always day or always night. That was something mentioned in one of the other leaks the other day. Not you should be going off other leaks and setting sort of corroborating information between them, but it was just an idea I've picked up from it. You know, on the Temple Island, it could always be day or could always be night depending on your version. That's one possibility, I suppose. The other thing mentioned was Pokemon from Virtual Console will have pre-Generation 6 typings and stats. I think again this relates to the Alolan form stuff, so it will likely be true. You could say that's almost confirmed, because, you know, if you're transferring from Virtual Console, i.e. Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellow, then yes, of course they're going to be Fire-type Vulpixes, for example, and have the Fire-type Vulpix stats, whereas the ones caught in Generation 7 will have Ice types and slightly different stats. So that's pretty much confirmed. Other things mentioned though is that Ash Greninja is in the game, and that SSN also appears in the game. So those are 2 things to watch out for. If there's a confirmation Ash Greninja it turns up at any point, then of course it adds more traction again. And the SSN, I'm assuming that's going to be like post-game, so who knows about that at the moment at least. Then we have the slightly more new Pokemon than Generation 6. We know we're near confirming this, of course. we've got a good amount. Seems like we're getting more than Generation 6, but we can't say how many more, or whether it will just end up being about the same as Generation 6, because they might have just revealed all the base Pokemon and we have no other new Pokemon to find in Sun and Moon. Who knows though, who knows. But they also mentioned that Luca, Cynthia, Blue, Zinnia, AZ and Lance all appear in the games, so obviously Cynthia, Blue and Lance being old champions, so it's a good bet to say maybe they'll turn up because they have in previous games. Obviously Luca, he's made an appearance through Black White, I think he was in Black White, or Black 2 White 2 at least. XY and ORAS, so it makes sense he just carries on appearing. And then AZ and Zinnia, it would make sense for them to appear as well because their stories are still pretty much unfinished. Zinnia's, I suppose, is finished, but it could definitely have some continuation to it. She's off exploring the world now, so we could definitely see her pop up. And yes, AZ's story is not really quite finished yet, as in the whole of Kalos' story is not finished yet, so it makes sense to see them again. Who knows though. Further's haircut being changed in the Mii, obviously not confirmed, but it will be very likely, I would say. Because of course we have a new Mii with some new grooming tools, so it makes sense to do that rather than have a building for it. Then we also have a Snowman Pokemon, which is an Ice Ghost type, so yeah, okay, we'll look out for that. And also a 2-stage cat Pokemon that is normal, and then an extra type which is gained upon breeding. So if you breed this cat Pokemon with a Purloin, it become a normal dark type, and it's the farmer's father's primary type rather. So normal dark if you breed it with Purloin. If you bred it with I don't know, Tornadus you can't really breed. You guys breed it with a Noivern, if it's possible to breed it with a Noivern. Of course, you could get a normal flying cat, etc. So that will be interesting to see, but of course not confirmed. And of course, we have the other Alolan forms that were mentioned, specifically Butterfree, the Nidos, i.e. Nidoking and Nidoqueen, Growlithe, Abra and Doduo. So obviously you imagine, obviously Raticate we pretty much know is going to have a form there, but Butterfree, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Growlithe and Arcanine, Abra and its line, and then Doduo and Dodrio. So those are the ones we want to look out for. If any of those get revealed, it basically adds even more traction. You could say yes, they could still be guessing this sort of stuff, but if the typings come up, then of course we know it's because Growlithe and Arcanine are supposed to be water types. The Nidoking and Nidoqueen are supposed to be poison fighting types. Butterfree, I believe, is supposed to be a bug psychic type, but we'll see about that, I suppose. And Abra is supposed to be fighting type line, so definitely that'll be a big one. And then Dodo apparently is fighting flying as well. So basically, if any of those get revealed anytime soon, or any at all, adds even more traction to this theory, and we can start making a big case for saying this theory is actually true. It's actually the case that this is real, and we can then start building off of this stuff here. Who knows though? Also worth mentioning, they also predicted Mimikyu and Beware's names. So if you just before they reveal, of course, English names I should say. So possibly that's more leaning towards the real thing. But let me know, with this new Rattata Alolan form reveal, do you think this means we can believe this leak, or do you think it's just a lucky guess for the leak still and we can't really believe it quite yet? Let me know what you think about this down below, guys, and let me know if you're hoping for this leak to be true with the Ashgra Ninja stuff and the Sand stuff and Luca and Zinnia and stuff. Let me know what you think down below, but for now, this is going to be it for me for today. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.